let's go ahead and pop on over. Testing 1 2. There we go. Probably gonna angle that a little bit more. Testing 1 2. There we go. Yes, I am live. I don't understand. That's another thing. Does that happen anymore? Maybe it doesn't. Disclaimer. Oh, okay. I need to go fix that. I need to go fix that right now. Stream. I don't know. Where is my link to this? Here. Oh boy. That's why I wasn't getting the notifications. Okay. Good morning. Good morning. So today we still see APLM up there. And like I was saying earlier, I'm thinking usually when there's a hot pre-market on a Friday, usually things need to prove themselves out of the open. So we're definitely going to be looking for some proven ground. Of course, these are all lower price tickers, I believe. Everything's around $1 that's really up. And then there was this other random that was NKGN that was up 18%, but I don't know how it's going to be able to compete on the day. Don't really see any average volume year to date, which is weird. It must not have. Oh, this is why. So over here on NKGN, we can see that it doesn't have that much history. This thing's only been open since the beginning of October. So not that much history there to be played on. Let me see if it has any kind of news though. NKGN, US Futures, Mixed Investors, NKGN Biotech presented phase one. Okay, so that's already, it's just in the beginning phases of this movement. And there's not a whole lot of support or resistance levels put up. So a lot of times for these, I just don't even try it. I give it some time to actually build up some history and then try to play it. But some people play these successfully. Sometimes it'll do a little pop, but it's got 1 million shares traded over here on this morning pre-market. But I still think that one of these is going to take the focus, especially APLM with it's got 26 million shares traded right now. Look at that daily chart. It's been fighting a downtrend. This is another thing that I look at and I'm like, this thing has been fighting a downtrend and it's just popping up to what, 126. So 126 is right in here somewhere, 125-ish. It definitely has a little bit of what could be a top up here right at 2. So, but for it to break over 2, that's a pretty big move up there above 2. And right now, I mean, it's got what, 60 to 70 cents to get to 2. So, you know, I'll just be on watch, but I'll definitely let it prove itself and prove that it can hold up at least $1. I mean, if it goes back under 1 at this point, it's not gonna be looking too good. BKYI was another one that I saw up here. Really didn't have any news on today. It's also a bio farm. Had some earnings on the 25th, which was 2 days ago. And looking at its daily chart again, has been fighting quite a bit of a downtrend. Was down here, closed yesterday at 17 cents and is up there at 29 cents. So it's like, it's still not doing that great on that gap up, right? But it says it's up 73%, so we know people be looking over there. It just probably won't give the range that we like to trade. The next one is ICU. ICU, looking over here. Now this one has a little bit more history back here. And this is one thing that I'm definitely gonna miss from Street Smart Edge. Not being able to scroll wheel on this chart. Like, scroll wheel takes you back in time, but it doesn't actually zoom out on TOS, and it is infuriating. But it's okay. It's okay. I take a deep breath. It's okay. You know. But yeah, gotta get back used to it. Has this little, what is this low of 16 cents, and now it's up to $1.09 on ICU. So still under the previous highs, 124. Usually when we look for gaps, we're looking for things that are gapping over previous highs. But these things are gapping up under previous highs. So we'll have to see if those previous highs becomes any type of resistance. Good morning, Drifter. Good morning, Donnell. But yeah, we're just watching everything right now. The next one is ABVC. We saw this one yesterday take a really big drop. It was up here at 329s and ended the day around 128. So lost everything that it had gained. But looking back at the daily chart, it was actually just repeating history. It's done this before. We look back here on April 2021, big pump up, dump. October 2021, big pump up, dump. ABVC, right here at what, November 23rd or no, December, like right at the beginning of 2023, pumped up, dump. Another one right here. So this is why I really wasn't expecting much, because it's got a history of dumping. So those are our top movers right now on the scans. One up 137, 73, 36, and 15%. Under that, we have Amazon right on their coattails at 5%. SOXL, and then it goes on down from there. Yesterday, I only traded PI. Traded PI, which is this stock right here. And PI, I really, really liked it yesterday. It had a nice ATR. Now, its ATR was $3.76, average true range. And I was like, oh my goodness, this thing doesn't have to really do anything crazy to give me my win. And so, of course, you know, the little equation that I use, I take the ATR, whatever it is, and I multiply it by 25%. So I say, hey, can I get this 94 cents of this move, which I did yesterday. So let me pull up my account details here. So this was the trade from yesterday. I entered one. Now, the whole premise of this trade was this thing is going to hold 60. This is a whole dollar level this is one of those tens. You know, fives and tens are really, they do something for people, right? When it comes to $60, $20, $30, all of those tens are kind of like major levels. So I was looking at this thing coming into the $60 level, and I actually took my first entry at 61.94 right here of 50 shares. And I was like, okay, I know that I want to take 100 shares here. And I was talking to Donnell in the Discord chat. I was like, I want to take 100 shares, but I got in 50 shares and it dropped. So it dropped to 60, all the way down to 59s. And I continued to add around here. You can see I was just adding little bits and pieces. 5 shares here, 5 shares there of 60.82, 60.15. Just buying in, and I ended up with 107 shares around this 60. I forgot. I think my average was like 61.18. And then you can see my sell orders up here. I was selling at 62.39, 62.27, 62.50. So I was selling well above. And remember, what I was looking for was this 94-cent winner per share. So I definitely got the 94 cents and some. So I started taking pretty much when I got up around $1 per share, I started taking, and then it just kept going. And so my top share take was like $2.24, I believe, on that, off of that winner. So I was like, okay. But yeah, just playing the major obvious level. And if we look back on PI daily chart, we can see here that they had a nice little gap here that I was like, okay, if it can hold this gap right on this 60, this is a lot of confirmation right here. So we got 58.72, which I probably should have waited for the entry. I could have got a lower entry, but where I entered the first little bit it took so long. I was like, man, this thing's gonna hold 62. And so I went ahead and jumped in there, but it came on down and I was adding around this level here, around this like 60, 30-ish, whatever, right above this obvious level, this gap level here. And it bounced back up there. And I thought it was going to go all the way green, but it only went like maybe like 62.50-ish, like up in here somewhere. Right, like right there. And I might need to change that color because y'all might not even be able to see that. So it went like right in there, and I was selling into that. I really wasn't looking for anything crazy, but with the average true range that it was given, I was like, look, this thing's gonna give me $1 minimum. I'll take it, you know. But yeah, that was the play from yesterday. Nice little winner on that one. I've only taken 4 trades this month, and they're all green. Am I stupid? I think that's right. Let me go look. Oh, pros and cons with the switch over to TOS. So TOS, I was trying to make. I like to stay positive with moving and doing different things. One of the things that I was noticing with TOS, one, they do have the scripting. They have the Thinkorswim scripts, and I love my scripts. I write scripts in Thinkorswim all the time to do different things and kind of get different metrics for me. Two was they with my trading journal, I use TraderSync for my trading journal. TraderSync is a nightmare with Charles Schwab. I have to, if I want to get my times, let's say if I take a trade and I want to see how much time that I was in the trade and get that moved over into my trading journal, first I have to go to Charles Schwab, download their exportable file. Then I have to go to Google, take that file and transition it into a CSV. Then I need to go to TraderSync and do another transition into TraderSync. And I'm like, this is just too much, right? So with Thinkorswim, they automatically import all of my trades, everything into the platform. That's one of the biggest plus sides to coming back over to Thinkorswim, right? The other thing is the integrations. I was reading, of course, I found the email that was talking about Thinkorswim or that Street Smart Edge was going away, and I was like, okay, well, this could be good, but I want to focus on the positives. The other thing is that I have a working strategy that over here on Street Smart Edge, I mean, taking these trades, getting my profit, getting out, right? And I'm like, I want to, when I do go over to TOS, of course, the charts look a little bit different, but using both of them, I have noticed that Thinkorswim's charting is still better. It's still better when it comes to actual data points. Sometimes in Street Smart Edge, there are exaggerations. There are lines that are like, is that real? And then I come over here and look at Streets or TOS, and I'm like, oh, okay, okay. And so still TOS wins with how the chart plots the data points. But Street, if they could only get the zoom in, zoom out on these charts, oh my gosh, that would fix everything. The other thing is that we're losing is these hotkeys. Of course, I really haven't been using hotkeys. I pretty much get the feels. I get filled on the bid, so like when I try to buy, I buy the bid all the time and get filled. That's the only way that I really buy. Um, but I don't know. I really don't think it's going to be too horrible. And the other thing is the level twos. But I was looking at this now that I have more screens, I can actually make things a little bit bigger, especially in TOS. I believe when I was first using TOS, I was only using one screen. And so everything was like compact and I was feeling kind of crazy. But, you know, with more screens, I can see the benefit of maybe being able to spread out some of the charting and seeing the level two. Even though the level twos are still bad, they are bigger. So I can see them. So I'm just finding different positives in this transition. I was looking around at other platforms. I'm like, man, do I really want to pay? Do I really want to pay for Lightspeed $100 and something per month, or for like something like Dash Trader or something like that, because I'm not doing high frequency trading. I'm not just boom boom in and out whatever. I'm pretty much trading support and resistance, so I don't really need that many, you know, fast entries or exits. Donnell said he is long APLM. Let's go look at that. APLM had a top up here. We have about 9 minutes to the bell. Top up here created at 140. Let's see what this thing wants to do. And like I said, a lot of Fridays when we have hot pre-markets, it's sometimes better to see what is going to be the real winner on the day, right? Because sometimes we come in the open, and when we got this many movers, we got ICU, APLM, NKGN. We got all these things around. Who's going to be the winner of the day? And of course, Donnell, he's already been trading this morning. And I was looking at pre-market trading. A lot of times I was like, man, I'm not doing pre-market trading, but pre-market trading has its place. There's definitely money to be made in pre-market trading, especially if you're a breakout trader or if you are a breakouts for real, but breakouts or micro dip trader. Those two things, I mean, pre-market really blesses you guys because there are no halts. So breakouts can just go, you know. And I was looking at that as to in the future, if I end up taking that strategy, I've watched it over and over again and kind of seen different breakouts go in pre-market, especially those pre-market moves that are like up like 80 something percent, 75%. When they go, they just ride. So I was like, I might add that to my playbook as I continue to build out. But for now, I have something that's consistent and it really doesn't take a whole lot of thought or, looking around. It's just easy. Identify a level that everyone can see and get in. That's it. But intraday, man, when all the rules and regulations are in play, when all the halts and all of that stuff is in play, that's when I would say breakout trading is the most dangerous. Whether it's breaking out to the upside or the downside, because you have so many more bots, so many more very fast, high frequency algorithms out there working in the intraday. So breakouts, it's just, I don't know. But during intraday, with my strategy, what I'm looking for is exhausted moves. Let's say if there is a breakout and it just goes, especially to the downside is what I'm looking for. That's what I want to get into, to have the to get into a spot where shorts are feeling pain. But anyway, enough rambling. We got the SPY out here today going on flat. I'm really not going to do anything with PI. I mean, it has literally no volume. I do look for a minimum volume, which is 1 million shares traded. If it's not getting around 1 million, I'm not touching it. It's just not going to meet my criteria, but it's got to have that range. Look, speaking of range, let's look over here at APLM and all of these. What are their ATRs? So average true range on APLM is 25 cents. Average true range for BKYI is 7 cents. ICU is 16 cents. ABVC is 30 cents. And so you already know how I do. I look at it. I'm like, okay, if I can get 25 cents, and I'm looking for 25% of this ATR. So I multiply that by 25, and I'm looking for 6-cent winners. Right? Once I get to 6 cents, I'm looking to take. If it goes 10 cents, if it goes 12 cents, oh well, I got my 6 cents, I'm taking. That's pretty much how the plan goes. Once it crosses that, taking. Which is why bigger ATRs are better for me, because I can take the percentage doesn't change, but the amount of movement is much greater. APLM breaking above that one. So I'm looking and I'm mental resistance. I'm looking at this 150 coming up. I want to see the reaction of 150 into the open on APLM. We got 31 million shares traded on this thing pre-market. So could definitely get crazy. Go ahead and take BKYI off. I'm not too interested in that one. Anyway, how's you guys week been going? Have y'all been getting in and out on some trades, or what's your week looking like? Y'all flat, y'all green, red week? What y'all looking like out here? And I guess the other thing is trying to figure out a strategy that takes less trades has actually made increase my patience level. Like I remember when I first started doing this strategy, I couldn't stay in the trade. Like literally, I could not. Like I'd be talking to Donnell. I'm like, I'm in, I'm going green, I'm out. Now there are two reasons. Either one, I was putting my stop too close. I was putting my stop in too early, not waiting for consolidation or to get the resolution of the move upward or downwards. Um, or I was just impatient. I would just take profit. I'd be like, I'm nervous. I haven't even reached my 25%. I'm up 30 cents. I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take it. So just kind of getting in a trade and getting shook around, especially with the lower volume. It's very easy to get shook around because you're like, okay, where is the FOMO? Is the FOMO coming? There's so many questions that come while you're sitting in the trade. Where are those buyers? But the thing is, if you have the right criteria, it's coming. It's just, or it may not come. It's trading. It's risky. So just manage your risk, right? But yeah, been a pretty good week, pretty good month. Closing up a month green. Looking to go into next month, doing the same thing. Taking my time, taking a couple trades. Mike D in the house. Yeah, I was just griping. Not griping. I was just trying to think about the positives of moving over to back over to TOS. Yesterday I was actually working on the build for TOS. This isn't the current build that I have up. I actually changed everything and have a whole new workspace for TOS. But another positive for TOS is the drawing. When you make a line on TOS, it makes a line on all your charts. I forgot about that positive. That's a big positive, right? If I want to see the $5 level, it automatically draws it everywhere. So with Street Smart Edge, man, drawing and redrawing on the 15-minute, on the 5-minute, on the hour chart, that was kind of a bummer. But with the syncing, the chart syncing, that could be very good. And another thing you could do in TOS is pause the time frame. So let's say if I'm not pause the time frame. Well, is it pause the time frame or pause the time zone? It's one of them where when you zoom in to a particular spot, when you go to the 15-minute, it'll be that exact same spot just on the 15-minute. So the zoom follows you across your charts, which is another. I think it's another good thing, another cool thing. And what I mean by follows you across your charts, let's say if I'm looking at a specific time frame on one ticker, like ABVC, and we just got the market open as well. And I switch tickers, I still get that same time slot in the next scene, in the next ticker. But yeah, top mover on today. We're watching APLM out of the open. We saw that 150 was providing a little bit of resistance. 140. We'll see what this what wants to do. And like I said, pre-market trading was great for this one. So I'm expecting breakouts to be terrible on this one. So a breakout of this high of 142, I'm expecting shorts to step up, put their big boy shoes on. If it gets to 142, which is right now, I'm looking for them to get active. So it got up there, got kind of close. Got kind of close. Looking for breakouts to really be very, very dangerous on this intraday. Right now, top movers, ABVC. Okay, let's flip over right here real quick. ABVC was the one that took the fall yesterday. NKGN is another one that's waking up here. It was trading around. It has a little bit of a downtrend, and I don't know if it has. Oh, this was one that didn't have a lot of history. That's what it was. This one only has been trading since the beginning of October, and it had a little gap up here. And it has a gap back down to, what would the low of this be? $4. So it's holding over the 4 right now, and just doesn't have a whole lot of history to speak of on NKGN. Let's also look over some of this news here. NKGN is the one I want to look at. NKGN. So this is a biotech. We looked at this one. It's a phase 1 clinical trial data in the first month of its IPO trading, which is pretty scary. Could go either way. A lot of times these do end up getting a lot of shorts in them because they don't have a lot of support where buyers want to buy. So, definitely watch out for that. Up 27%, 11% out of the open. ABVC going on down to 13%. ICU, not really having a whole lot of motion. Looking at AP, so this was a breakout. It did get over this 142, and like I said during the intraday, will probably get terrible. We'll see if that is a proper call on this one, especially seeing that pre-market was so hot. But 150 looking like a big wall up there for it. Let's see what the SPY is doing as well. SPY still hasn't really made a big move out of here. High of 114. Oh man, this is another thing. This little app, right, or not app, but this little DApp, or I don't know what you would call it. This little thing right here helps so much in Street Smart Edge, knowing the open, high, and low. Now I know it's in TOS, but this is it's just so simple, and you can do it on any bar. It just changes bar to bar. You can see everything lined up. That's one thing I'm probably going to end up missing too. I don't know, man. I know you can do it in TOS. You just have to kind of take your pointer across the bar or whatever. But, I don't know. Maybe I'm just picky because I've been over at Streets. NKGN hit this top right here of the 511. This one getting wild and poppy around that 5, up 31%, up 15% on day. So this is the largest mover out of the open, right? 15% up. Looking for this breakout. APLM was not able to get over that 142 just yet. Waiting on that. But I'm going to try to do as much trading as I can before Street Smart Edge is out, which is next Friday. So we'll see. Oh, wow. NKGN getting killed right there off of that breakout. And this is what I'm talking about. These breakouts after a hot pre-market, shorts coming in heavy and strong because they're expecting Fridays to be a sell-off day. And they are killing NKGN right there. It was just up 15%, now only up 3%. That's insane. Okay. So let's jump over here to the scans and make sure we're not missing anything. BKYI was one that was up, but that's a cheaper one. It's pretty much the only one that's under $1 that is receiving any kind of movement today. BKYI. And then as for the gainers, not really seeing anything other than ABVC, which just disappeared because it's already fighting a downtrend anyway. Okay. $42 million shares traded on this thing. This candle right here is this 15-minute candle, almost 10 million shares traded on it. So think about that. 10 million people making trades, whether they're going short, whether they're going long, and some kind of decision needs to be made, right? So we've already seen breakouts be very, very crazy in pre-market. But what happens when breakouts aren't crazy anymore and all of these rules and things go into place? And we need pullbacks. We need opportunities for more buyers to enter, because at this point, what buyers are going to be buying this high under this failed breakout? Only up 5% since the open. Very easy to flip green to red on this one. BKY, that's the cheaper one, making the same move that NKGN made. Let's see if it gets slammed too on BKY. Whoops, where'd it go? BKY up 15% as well. APLM, that's the failed breakout. And sometimes it takes a little bit longer for the idea to come through, but I mean, this is the intraday for us. So where could APLM fall to is the next question. APLM, let's look at their daily chart over here. So looking at this daily chart, we've seen that it's been beat up. This has been its first day to gap up. And where is any green candles down here that show buying pressure? And it's halted down. Wow. Well, it just halted down. That's another thing I'm gonna miss about Street Smart Edge is it tells you when things are halted. TOS does not do that. Unless they're, does TOS tell you if there's halts? Does it say trading halted, or I forgot? I don't really know. Let me go look at TOS's maybe it's on level 2, or how would I know? Is it on active trader? No. How would I know that there is a halt on TOS? Go to level 2. I don't really know. Maybe I'll just have to watch the news, I guess. But the news on TOS updates what, every 15 minutes? Every 15 minutes, so that's too late. Yeah, I don't know. Donnell, you trade with TOS. I don't know if it gives you any kind of indication with for trade halts. I guess you could just look at it and be like, "Oh, it's not moving." But sometimes that could be a false halt. I see you picking itself back up as well. BKY. Yeah, NKGN looking like it's not going to be coming back anytime soon. SPY. I see you. So I see you playing above $1 here, 10 cents above the dollar, has a high up here of 10.16, which is not that far to go. to reach this, or actually there'll be resistance. Okay, so a little bit of resistance there at the 116 that is playing under right there. Looking like it may pull a green to red as well. But I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do about the whole halt thing. Trade halt, let's see. Halted at 938.23. So it should be opening up at 943.23. 43.23. SPY is also making a slow grinding move down. Oh, I guess that's the other thing about PI that I traded yesterday. It was a low float. Even though it was a higher price, it was low float. It was 21 million shares in the float. So, yes, it was $60, but it was a very low float for that move. Because I only trade low floats. Well, I only day trade low floats because my dividends, they don't really count. All right. So, has any news come out on the SPY that would be pertinent today? Israel Hamas war, day 22, U.S. strikes Iranian backed bases in Syria, requests IDF to postpone Gaza ground invasion. IMF warns of growth impact on the region. US PCE price index for September for 0.44%, not 4%, 0.40% versus 0.3. Okay. So it dropped a little bit. Okay. US core, NASDAQ, Goldbug, Peter Schiff slams Mike Johnson's claim of greatest economy. Yeah. Well, we have been seeing a dissension out here on the SPY, definitely. For oil, been pretty much the same thing. I was thinking it could just hold here and get going higher, but looking like it wants to drop back down to the 80s as well, coming into winter time. NQ, natural gas still above $3. SPX, oh my goodness, that thing went crazy. Okay, SPX still looking like it's a nice descending dissension. The VIX TLT, this thing goes up as when the market is going down. So this thing is definitely in a nice little upward motion. Was down here at $13, jumped all the way to $25 up there. It's a nice little inverse. Same thing with the VIX. Nice little push up from $13 up here to 20 as the market sentiment in the market becomes more bearish. APLM, I did not realize this thing had opened back up. Opened back up around 125. Bottom here is 114. It is looking kind of crazy. Everything else has pretty much gone red. NKGM red, ABVC red, ICU still pushing up back to that previous level of support of the 116s. BKY making its way down as well. Okay. Everything looking like it should on a Friday, you know. There may be some midday poppers, you know, there's always some kind of random pop-ups with no news on Fridays. But I would say be very careful in getting in those, especially if you're catching the end of the move, right? You see it and it's just now getting to like, you know, a million shares, but it's up 90%. And you try to buy it on a Friday, and you can't afford cereal anymore. Okay, so APLM taking a nice little dump. Now, one thing that I have been trying to do is kind of wait and see if engulfing candles will happen. So an engulfing candle is a candle that basically is in the opposite direction of the previous candle, but it completely engulfs that candle. So right now, this is kind of what we're getting on APLM. We look on the hour chart, and I kind of like working my way down through the charts. So looking at the hour chart, we see the previous candle, the low was 106. The high was 142. This one did a high of 142 as well, but the question is, will it end below 106? Now, on the lower time frame, I mean, it doesn't even look like an engulfing candle. It just looks like a range of red candles coming down to 106. So this is kind of what I look for in my trades, but I look for it in an uptrend. And right now, looking at APLM on here, it's been fighting a downtrend, and it looks like the downtrend is still going to be winning here, even into these levels. Let me go over here and look in APLM. Yeah, same thing over here on TL or on Street Smart Edge. It's still the downtrend is winning. What is the probability of this thing going up? And I would say very low probability. This thing is down 16% out of the open. So we want to see something that's staying green like ICU. The only problem is ICU is barely breaking out. Barely breaking out with a lot of push. Doesn't mean it won't go further, but it's one of the few that is still green out of the open. Everything else, red, 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 even the SPY. So we want to see something that is going inversely to the SPY. Something that doesn't care about what the rest of the market is doing. For some reason, I see, that's a cheaper one. HOLO is a cheaper one. If you got a strategy for those cheaper ones like that, I do not have a strategy for something like that. There's another one. What is this one talking about? Ooh, that thing has a stupid float. I don't even know if I want to put that up there and tempt y'all with that. That thing's got a stupid float. Y'all don't want that. Not for a day trade. But right now, these are the scans I'm looking at. And I usually sort by highest percent gain first. And then I start looking at more of the range on the day. So if I change this to ATR, you can see the things that are going to actually give you a little bit of range. Like Nvidia right now, this thing has an ATR of $16.30. So if you think about the what I use for something like Nvidia, I'm like, okay, well, $16.30 multiplied by 25%. So I'll be looking for a $4 winner on Nvidia, which is insane, right? Just completely insane. $4, a $4 move is crazy. But right now it's descending. So look out over here on the chart. This would not be something that I'll be taking into these lows. Especially after making this head and shoulders pattern up here, one shoulder right here, head, and then another shoulder, and coming back for the fourth time. This is going to be a big breakdown under the 400s if it happens. If it bounces again, well, you know, I don't know, but this just does not look good for a hold. It's been down here too many times and hasn't broken away from it. So I'm thinking it's going to have a little bit more room down, but still, even if you're short, the ATR doesn't change. The ATR is both up and down. So ATR, if you do the negative, you'll be looking for minus $4 and whatever cents it was, $4.07. But APLM is getting an engulfing candle. We'll see if it can push through this 106 level. Let me read some of these chats. Mike D said, I'm tax harvesting. Still positive for the year. Nice. We're open. Happy Friday. Yes. You traded Amazon up and ENPH down. Somebody else called out ENP. I think it was Reliable that called out ENPH. And then Amazon up. Okay. One Life says, Mike D, how's Ad Rock doing? Good morning, One Life. Let's look at that. So Amazon, you traded up, which it is going up. I guess you might have got in at the 120s. That's got to be some kind of historical point, right? Amazon. Let's see. So Amazon's been on a little bit of an uptrend anyway. Had a previous level, let's see, 113. Had a little bit of trading around the 120s last time. So a little bit of pressure at that 120 level. I guess if you were trading it up, it'd probably be a buy off of 120. Of course, Amazon probably, what is their ATR? Their ATR is looking like $4.26. Pretty good, pretty good. One Life, I've been out here chilling, man. Taking these little trades, being able to afford a box of cereal every now and then. Milk is still high, so I get a half gallon. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, I've been doing good for real. Just pressing on, trying to catch up with you. I have been heavily getting into the dividends though, like heavy. That's been my blessing in disguise, cause on a slow month, it just pass the pockets, man, pass the pockets. And on a nice month, it's just a cherry on top. I cannot talk. All right, but yeah, glad you guys are having a good week. Hopefully, you guys are having a good month. And October, man, it's so crazy how fast time flies, man. Man, it was January like a week ago. Oh man. APLM all the way down through $1. Did the engulfing candle on the hour chart. Shorts are winning. Selling pressure is definitely taking that one. ENPH was one that the other one that Mike D had called out. ENPH looks like it had a gap down. Looking over here on Street Smart Edge. This thing gapped down once from 117 down here to the $100, and then gapped down again to the $80. Now I'm wondering, is this a spot that was traded prior somewhere? Not really super obvious, but we can see that there was some type of high here before a dump at $80, but I don't know. A lot of gap downs on that one. Had a small gap down, 123, 121, then a huge gap down. So you never know, man. The market's crazy. Mike D said he bought a 115 call in December 5th on December 15th on Amazon. Okay. Oh, you played that way back. Let's see, December 15th. December 15th. Bought a 115 call. Wait a minute. Were you doing like were you doing a covered call, or did you do a naked call? And why am I looking at ENPH? You said Amazon. I'm looking at this thing like, what? How'd you do that? Okay, now this makes more sense. So covered call here. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so basically, as long as it stays above, or as long as that contract closes at 115 or above 115, you're gonna take profit. You get the premium, or would it be premium? I think it is premium. I think it is called premium. I haven't traded options in a minute, so. But yeah, that looks good. Got your and it just held. You know, this thing definitely. Well, actually, you got the call pretty cheap back in December 15th because it was well away from the 115. It was at what, 86? And then it got there over time. So that was some great appreciation on those contracts. He's Wait, 2013. Oh, how'd you? Oh, okay, okay. So you just got. I'm tripping. I thought you were talking. I thought you were talking about 2022. My bad, my bad. Okay, okay. So in here, you got in somewhere, and you said by December 15th, you wanted to be above 115. Okay, now I got you. Got you, got you. That makes sense. Still, looks like it's going to be over that 115 level, though. Yeah, it's been a while since I've done options, man. Options, I was stupid and I started doing options. Like I started before I started doing equities, I was doing options, but then I realized how stupid I was because I was like, wait a minute. I need to understand the equity before I understand a derivative of the equity. It's like, how can you understand how can I understand this, right? How can I fully understand this without understanding where it came from? Yep, APLM going on down. Mike D says, "LOL, also sold the 120 call for 1208. So that's in a couple of that's like in a month or 2 months. So you're looking good on those calls anyway. It might be now. I gotta make sure that I'm reading this right. You said you sold the call. So you've already gotten rid of the call, or are you saying that you? I'm getting confused. If you sell a call, you can buy a call, which means you want it to go up. But if you're trying to do like an iron condor and you sell a call, you want it to stay under something, right? Am I stupid? Okay, I don't know. Maybe I just need to look back at options, I guess. If you sell a call, you want it to stay under that. You don't want it to get over that level. Just like if you sell a put or buy a put, you can sell or buy, depending on what you want to do. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just tripping. Uh, NKGN did end up continuing on red. But yeah, we pretty much seen everything for this morning that's going to be acting and trying to give us any money. Um, I haven't seen any Rangers that would be trying to do anything crazy today. Nvidia, Tesla, Meta, QQQ, Spy, they're pretty much leading the way in range. But as far as low floats go, it's pretty dead morning for low floats. APLM way under a dollar, just dumping, getting on down there. ICU, I mean, what can we say? All of these things, like me and Donnell was talking about this morning in the Discord pre-market. I was like, look, these hot days like this, things got to prove themselves. If they can't prove themselves, they're gonna die hard. But yeah, that is pretty much you're holding and rolling them. Nice, nice. Yes. Okay. So you bought the lower strike price and then sold the higher strike. Got you. Okay. Yeah, I gotta look back at options, man. I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna see what these dividends talking about, and I might get back into options. I don't know. Now that I better understand equities and reading and finding historical value in a ticker, that's what it's all about. What has happened? What will happen again? And how will I react to the happening? That's a movie, isn't it? The happening. But yeah, it is 9 o'clock. I'm about to get on down and get out of here. I'll be back Monday. Stream Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I usually start the stream at 8. We kind of look over the market, see where it's going. And today it was a hot pre-market. And intraday we see some of the higher market or the larger market caps taking or making their moves as a sell-off Friday. Well, some of them are selling off. Some of them are green though. But yeah, nice day. If you're going to continue trading, definitely keep your head on a swivel. Look for those obvious plays that make sense. If you have a strategy, stick to it. If you're not patient like me, work on your patience. Do some things that really test your patience, whether it's just cycling some kind of action or whatever. But you can always work on whatever skills you need in the market outside of the market. Like get a Rubik's cube, flip that thing for a while. You'll build some patience. But yeah, that is it for me today. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. I'm about to get on down. Y'all have a great weekend. And as always, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace. My name is Hal Hart. Hal Hart, my real name. But you can call me HH Trader, whichever one.